All right, this is first episode, first episode. Thank y'all for joining in. My name is Keazy, your host of Let's Let Them Have It. So I got Taji, I got Eric K, I got Damon Giddings,
Yo,
aka Dame, Taji, Eric, and we have Boomsy, which is Hassan, who you see listed there, but I don't know what he's doing. So this is a sports debate show based off of our conversations that we have in our group. And I said, why don't we just have it out here to the world? So we're gonna debate topics, 3 topics per episode. Everybody has 3 to 4 minutes to talk. I'll present the topic and we'll go forward. I'm just gonna go randomly here. So Eric will be the first person to present on topic number one. Topic number one is which Sixers team would be better? The Sixers team with Embiid and Harden or Ben, Embiid, and Zach LaVine? Eric, let them have it.
To me, that's easy. Harden and Embiid, because if you look at it, the fact that Harden is pretty much unstoppable, point. And if you look at it, when he's played with like even just half decent big men, they've they've been great. Like look at Capella. He got Capella paid. And like with the fact that he's able to, penetrate at will, free up the middle, and he's not going to be someone that's going to be, that's not going to space the floor. Like with Ben, it's ridiculous. You basically playing 4 people on offense every time when we're on that side of the floor. So to me, Embiid it would be unstoppable. Not only that, they would get to the line like probably between the two of them like 30 times a game. So like you putting all this tremendous pressure on the defense, they're big men, they're a perimeter defense. So to me, that's easy. Like we've already seen like the whole Ben Simmons and Embiid, duo, and it'll get you some wins, but it's not gonna get you a championship. It's not gonna get you deep in the playoffs. So, that experiment to me is pretty much over. And Levine, like, I don't understand. Like, Levine is a all right player, but I don't see how people get excited to see if we would have Levine, Simmons, and Embiid, how that would really push us over the top to be like a championship contender. Maybe people like it because we're not giving up, Ben Simmons, but I don't know why that would be something that's beneficial or why people will want to keep him on the squad. To me, you got to give up something to get something. So like let people get, excited about a 6'10" dude that can play some defense and dribble, but has no offensive game. And give me Harden all day. Because to me, even if we only have him on the squad for 2-3 years, he's good for at least one championship and probably at least 2-3 trips to the finals. So I'll take that, any day. So to me, it's an easy decision. I'll definitely take Embiid and Harden over any other Sixers squad.
Cool. Damon, let them have it.
well, you you already know whichever trade don't involve the Sixers keeping Ben. I don't give a hell who they get. But Harden, the Levine one sound good though, because I like Levine, so it do sound good. But to get over the top, you need a monster, and the only way you can do that, like, can you imagine what you going to do on defense? Because they already be letting Harden do what he want, right? With those stupid, they can't play up on him. They can't, when he go to the hole, they don't want to touch him. Now Embiid just chilling, just catching lobs, standing down low, or he could do whatever it is he wants. He gonna be one-on-one all the time. He be killing when he get double teamed. So the fact that people don't want Harden only because he go to UPS is really bothering me. That's the only reason why they don't want him, because they think that he gonna mess up everything. That's the only reason. If he was a choir boy, it wouldn't be no issue. People would want him all day. But once they hear what he was doing, like, listen, when the last time you heard he did something? Right. He was only doing it to try to get out. So they didn't let him out. So he's like, all right, I'll chill until I can get out. Clearly, that's what he was doing. But there are people who do not want Harden at all. When I say despise Harden coming here, like Center City robbing them, we watched the last game with them. They was arguing me and James down to the death. They do not want that man in here because he goes to the strip club. They do not want him here. They hate the fact that the Sixers even thinking about it. So I don't know.
Taji, let him have it. You on mute, bro.
Yeah, he muted.
I thought you muted me, Keazy. But anyway, I don't think that's the reason people don't want him here. Totally, I think a lot of people don't want to hear because he's a quote unquote bad guy. But I think people into this chemistry thing and the youth thing with Simmons and stuff. And Eric touched on it a little bit with the youth thing. It kind of don't make sense because Embiid is what, 27, 26, 27, something around that range. Harden early 30s, right? So Embiid is a big man. We know his health is not going to last that long, right? So by the time his usefulness runs out, probably in his early 30s, Harden will be getting to the point in his career where he's winding down at the same time. So that fits actually a little bit better than the Ben Simmons thing if you look at it that way. And look, how much of us got like time to be thinking about 5 years from now anyway? You know what I'm saying? like especially all the stuff going on in the world. Like we'd be lucky if we live another year. Like let's be thankful for each day we have and try to win championships as soon as possible. Like the people to think about 10 years down the line or what's going to happen, later, 5 years. Why are you thinking about that? You know how long 5 years is? Like that never made sense to me. You know what I'm saying? The point should be to win, right? And if the point is to win, you build a team that's going to win as soon as possible. So Harden, like Dame was saying, like the Harden is usually going to deal with like a double team type of situation with maybe like a third person watching. We've seen Embiid is dealing with the same thing, maybe even 4. So how are you going to defend that team? And then you're going to still have Toby, right? And we ain't even talking about him. So if you bring LaVine in here, you got to trade Toby. So it's like a trade-off, especially the way Toby playing now, because he's doing a lot of stuff. He rebounded, he's passing a little bit better, defending a little bit better. Y'all know I love Zach LaVine, but if you're going to get rid of Tobias, it's not like you add him to the squad with Tobias on it, right? So, with Harden, you're getting rid of Ben, and you still got Tobias. Then you got to worry about the defense, but how much, with only Ben Simmons do we worry that much about the defense? Like, what other player have we ever cared about the defense that much? Like, it's making that much of a effect because you don't want to get a dude that's averaging 37 and 12 and whatever your average rebound was. Like, you don't make no damn sense because it's defense. Okay, because you can't guard Durant. You that scared of Durant that you don't want to trade Ben Simmons for. You don't want to help your team possibly win multiple championships because you that terrified of Durant. Who's gonna guard Durant? So, I think it's a no-brainer, man. I love Zach LaVine. I would love having him on the team, but I don't think you're improving the team that much if you're getting rid of Tobias Harris and adding LaVine as opposed to getting rid of Ben Simmons, who, for the life of me, I don't know why people keep holding on to hope, calling him next LeBron. Like, if he's not even thinking about shooting now, I mean, he shot, well, I'm not going to say thinking. He shot a couple threes, but, it's not enough for defenders to actually guard him. And we see how much havoc that's wreaking on the offense. It's messing up the offense for everybody. They're jumping in the air, spinning around, throwing the ball, getting turnovers and stuff. It's just not conducive for everybody operating in the space they need to operate. It's just not. And people just confusing themselves about it and thinking it's effective for the offense, but it's not. And I think people need to give up on that.
Y'all made all great points. I can't believe nobody mentioned that they will want Zach LaVine. I mean, I'm a Zach LaVine fan too, but I think y'all did a good job breaking it down. What's up, Dan?
So watching the game, what day did they play the Nets? That was Wednesday.
Yeah.
Watching the game today with them, they said one of their big points is Harden do all that, but they never win nothing.
Well, Harden never played.
So I said, then I wait. So then I said, what the fuck? What the Ben Simmons win?
Right.
That was their whole. That was 50% of the argument.
I mean, Harden been playing long enough. He been playing longer. You can say, all right, but Dave, the same thing. Like that argument don't make sense because last year, the year before, they talking about they can't win together, like Embiid and Simmons. So, like, which is it? You know what I'm saying?
Yep. So now, since the chemistry is all right, that's the next thing. So they was like, he gonna come in here. Look at this chemistry. Like, look at how they gelling right now. We don't need like I wish. Matter of fact, I'm so mad I ain't text them because they would have one of them would have got the group. So it's Jamar and Center City Rob. So Jamar was arguing me down, saying that with the chemistry is so good right now. Why would you bring Harden in to mess it up? Why would you do that? He's clearly going to mess up the chemistry.
The chemistry looks nice. I mean, I think that's due to coaching for the most part. But Ben Simmons,
right, that's what I said. I said that's coaching.
He's almost a chemistry killer if you paying attention to the basket. What's happening on the court because he clutters the him and Embiid still clash a little bit. Like you see Embiid going there and trying to set that screen for him sometimes. You know what I'm saying for their chemistry to work, Embiid has to adjust. That's the thing. Like Embiid staying at the top of the key. Staying on the 3-point line a lot to allow Ben Simmons space to operate because you a big dude who cannot shoot. I mean, it's to the point now. Like I'm saying, can't. Like we see him making them shots in the practices and stuff like that, but in the game he can't shoot. So maybe that's why he don't.
Yo,
shoot.
that was the funniest shit. I knew right when he stoned and almost broke the court with that three, they was gonna go right to him in practice, draining him.
Dang, but he don't even make he be missing layups. He struggles to make shots around the rim unless it's like right in front of the rim.
Yeah, like that stupid hook shot he got in the lane. Like,
oh my god,
that bullshit. And then I don't understand the chemistry thing because, first of all, Harden and CP3 hate each other, but they went to the Western Conference Finals. Mm-hmm. We got chemistry, and the only thing we do is get out the first. So chemistry. Like, who the fuck cares? This man was like, they was basically minutes away from going to the finals with a dude he fucking hated. So the chemistry argument to me, I don't get.
The chemistry, I mean, so you're not going to have that if you add Harden to this team. I mean, they can have more chemistry because you added dudes like, Steph Curry and to a lesser degree Green, who's spacing out the floor more and allowing people room to operate. I mean, that's pretty much where the chemistry comes from. So you're not going to have that. People be like, you made a point about the ball domination that people are concerned about with Harden. But Harden, if he's playing with a dude, I mean, the dude average, 11, 12 assists or something? More than Simmons.
And
so it's
they said his assist was empty assists.
They're not empty assists. If you watch Harden play, he earns those assists, like with the attention that he draws. I mean, people want to say that about him, but they're not empty assists, man. Simmons is kind of empty if you want to argue that.
And that's the same thing I said. I said Ben Simmons sucks everybody and turns around and just jump up and throw it to whoever out there, the fans, the referee, some of the players, whoever catches it, whoever. What's the first rule in ball when you learn it? They say, don't jump up in the air.
Right.
Because you stop.
Yep.
That's the first thing, and he literally does it 90% of the time.
I want to. If I could keep Ben, I would for the defensive purpose. Like it does matter, but it don't matter enough. And they say he's smart. They say he's smart. What's smart? What do you see Ben Simmons do to smart? Like I don't understand that either.
Yeah, not shoot because he ain't gonna make it. That's the smartest thing.
The smartest thing to do would be taking that jumper that they be sagging off him on to allow, to make them at least worry about the threat so it helps everybody else out. That would be smart. That's, maybe.
Yeah, they said why we worried about his three so much. So I said, listen, I'm not even worried about his three.
I'm not either.
Just get to the foul line. They sagging off. Make that little foul line shot.
Right.
Just make that. I don't care about the three. Just make that little foul line shot, and you good with me.
And right. He also hasn't improved his foul shooting.
So they don't want to. If they like leading the parade of no heart,
Yeah, we gotta get them on. We gonna invite them to the next show so they can come on and we can talk about that stuff.
I don't want to bring.
Please get them on. Stuff I be hearing that they be saying. Yeah, get them on.
I gotta get them on. That's why
I
I'm
want to
mad.
bring them into the. I want to bring them into the WhatsApp. Me and James be thinking about it, but it'll get too crazy, yo. Too crazy.
I can't pick the winner on this round. Y'all all literally broke down all good parts of why the team will be better with Harden and Embiid. So we'll just go to the next topic. Now I'll just call that one a draw.
Because we all agree.
Right.
We all hate Ben. Well, I hate Ben. They just don't like him. Like, I fucking hate Ben.
I hate him sometimes.
Go ahead. What's the next one?
All right, I'm gonna share my screen. We'll go to the next one.
You muted.
My share screen don't work for some reason. But...
you got a janky version of Zoom.
But also,
you tap the little green arrow. You tap that.
Yeah.
Taji was sharing it up. You must have been practicing for weeks from yesterday.
Y'all see that?
Yeah.
All right. So next topic here is who is the best receiver out of the four? Right? Terrell Owens, Chris Carter, or Randy Moss?
The best?
Yeah.
Yep. Dame, let him have it.
I'm gonna take my feelings out of it and say it's Randy. But me personally, I don't know. I love Randy. I love all four of them, but rank them in the way I love, Jerry's number one, T.O.'s number two, Randy's number three, then Chris Carter. But the best, who you had to change your defense for, of course, was Randy. Because Randy was a deer with hands. Like, you couldn't do anything. So I would say Randy. Go ahead.
Cave.
Yeah, that's tough. I was going to say Randy, but I'm going to go. And it's not even based off the numbers. I'm just looking at the fact that even when he.
Who did you say?
Huh?
Who did you say?
Jerry. Right. So I'm just basing off the fact that this man has when you think about the greatest wide receivers in terms of physical attributes, he never comes up. He's not the biggest. He's not the fastest. He's not the strongest. But even when he's with the Raiders, he had nice seasons. I think he was 35 or some shit, and he had Rich Gannon thrown to him. So I'm all right, this man is a crazy route running technician. So don't matter. If you the best cornerback in the league, he just knows how to run routes, knows how to read cornerbacks and just get open every time. And I don't think I've ever seen him drop a ball. I don't think I've ever seen him drop without one ball. So I would still have to say Jerry, because the fact he did it, he had the longevity. He did it with different quarterbacks, even when he wasn't, had a Hall of Famer thrown to him. And yeah, he did it with multiple teams. So I had to say Jerry. Then I would put Randy second because of the impact he had. Chris Carter, Chris Carter is still going to be four. He definitely number four. And then T.O. number three, only because I've seen T.O. drop a whole bunch of balls. So he doesn't have the best hands, ever. It'd probably be a little harder if you had Fitz up there instead of Chris Carter, because to me, Chris Carter is easy. He definitely number four. But I have to say Rice number one.
Taji.
Yeah, we know Chris Carter is four, so it's really between three people. For most of my life watching football, I was saying Jerry Rice, and I think it was when recently Moss came out and put himself first. I think did he do that?
Yeah.
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 I think that just started making me think. I was like, wait a minute, maybe he is. You know what I'm saying? And now I gotta be honest, I didn't see a whole lot of Jerry Rice. I saw, enough, but I didn't see a whole lot of Jerry Rice. Saw more Randy Moss. Jerry Rice is like if you compiling a wide receiver with all the attributes you want in a wide receiver, he would be the closest you would come to that, right? Like he does everything good from the run routes, decent speed. He prepares like probably a few people in the history of football. He like one of them Mayweather type dudes. That's all he think about: eat, sleep, drink, football, constantly preparing. T.O. might be a little bit like that too. You know what I'm saying? I don't know what Randy Moss preparing style is like, but we know that about Jerry Rice, right? But Randy Moss' impact, like he's one of those dudes you fear, like probably more so than any receiver in the history.
That's the only reason why I said Randy.
Yeah, so I think I might put Randy number one just based on that. Like if I'm a quarterback, if I'm a defense playing against Randy Moss, I'm scared going into that game. I don't know if I'll be scared of Jerry Rice. You know what I'm saying? He just seems more vulnerable than Randy Moss. So I'm putting Randy Moss one, Jerry Rice two. The physical attributes, that's a good point, Eric, but it's like it is what it is. Like, Usain Bolt was taller than everybody. He ran faster. It is what it is. You know what I'm saying? So LeBron James bigger, it makes him better than everybody. You know what I'm saying? It is what it is. Like, yeah, it helps to some of these receivers, Randy Moss taller and all that kind of stuff, but you can't do nothing about that. Sometimes the physical attributes just make you if Iverson was 6'6", he'd have been probably the best two guard ever. You know what I'm saying? But he wasn't. So, then I'm putting who was the other one? T.O. third, and then, Chris Carter fourth.
Yeah.
So none of y'all give T.O. a shot at number one?
No, I'm gonna say
I think it's arguable. Like T.O. is arguable against any of them. You know what I mean? But the other one just edge him out to me.
I'll say the reason Randy edges everybody out is because it's that, like Taji said, when you're a deep coordinator, you like, all right, we got him covered, we got him. What the fuck? I don't got nobody on the roster that can run with Randy.
Right.
Like, it's you don't have fast enough people for Randy.
Right.
Like Jerry,
fast enough, tall enough, all that stuff.
Yeah, like Jerry, Jerry is my favorite football player, like besides Tom Brady, like my favorite football player. But if I'm a defense against Jerry, you put a couple people in the area, might slow them down. But you put people in the area, you gotta draft people to stick Randy.
Right.
Yeah.
Like you might have to change your whole organization to stick Randy if you got to play the Vikings.
Yeah, and I understand what you're saying about taking your heart out of it. Like, cause I never really liked Randy Moss. You know what I'm saying? So it was a struggle for me to put him number one. That might have been a reason why I didn't rank him all that. I was putting T over him at one point. You know what I'm saying? Which is arguable. That is arguable. But But at the end of the day, if I'm really looking at it and taking my heart out of it, if I was a defense, I'll be more fearful of Randy Moss, and that's kind of like what I'm basing it on.
Yeah, and then I would be second fearful of T.O. catching that slant and taking it to the house, but he might drop it.
Right, exactly. That's why
he might drop it, yeah.
So that's why I'm saying he number two. But I don't know. I mean, it got to be Randy because Randy changed your whole organization.
T.O. is like he one of them dudes that always had to like try to figure out why he was as good as he was. He worked on his strength and stuff a lot. I know that helped him a lot. His strength and his height helped him a lot. But like you said, his hands wasn't great. He wasn't super fast. You know what I'm saying?
Mm.
So he's always one of the dudes like, why is he good like that? It's kind of like some people are just real superb route runners, and it took me a while like to get a little bit more educated on like the details of football to understand how important route running is.
Yeah.
Some average skilled receivers can make themselves great from being good route runners. You know what I mean? I think we saw that a little bit with Deshaun Jackson this year because he's not, he's older and stuff now, but when he's on the field, he just seemed more professional than any of those receivers. And when
he
people just letting him do this stuff is because he runs his routes better than he probably did when he was younger. You know what I mean?
No, I totally agree. I totally agree. I'm gonna add a wrinkle to this, y'all. So you're a quarterback. Which deal are you taking? Taking
It depends.
Bryson Owens or Carter and Moss?
What you doing? Oh,
Can we mix them up and I take Moss and
Oh,
T.O.?
you can't do that, man.
Well, me personally, I would take the T.O. Jerry job because that's only because I love both of them more than I love Randy.
Everybody hate Carter.
yeah. Yeah, like nobody take it.
I never.
You know what though? I'm just
because who was it? Buddy Ryan? Who said all he catches touchdowns? Who said
yeah, and he got cut, and he cut him, and then he went to Minnesota, and he's crazy. Now I'm gonna bring this point up though to y'all. I think out of route running, Chris Carter is borderline with Jerry Rice with route running.
He definitely is because he wasn't that fast.
Right.
Because he wasn't that fast. Yeah.
Yo, he always did that little sideline joint. I'm like, yo, every time you knew it was coming.
Yeah. He almost invented the tiptoe catch.
Right, exactly.
Yeah, when he played for us, when he played for the Eagles, he was making crazy catches from Randall. So, like, you know what I mean? Like, you got to remember that. Like, this is before he went. Before Buddy was like, nah, you got to go. And then he went to Minnesota, and he became all world. So, Cave, who you taking?
Yeah, that's easy. That's Rice and T.O. Easy.
Taj?
I'm doing the same thing, Rice and T.O. I mean, you got Jerry Rice in there. Like, I think outside of Carter, you pair him with anybody on there. You pair Jerry Rice with anybody on there. You know what I mean? Either of those other two, you probably won't take that duo. You know what I mean?
True. You're right. All right, we go to the next topic, the third and last topic, which I think is probably going to give like the best I think, but we'll see. Y'all see that?
Yeah.
All players in their prime, rank them from 1 to 4. Allen Iverson, Dwayne Wade, Tracy McGrady, and James Harden.
Who you want to
go? Let's start with Taji first.
All right, I'm putting in Harden first. Reluctantly, I'm putting him first.
You ain't picking with your heart?
Nah, I put AI 2. Then I'm gonna put. Now, but I do. You know, I have an argument about the top 2. It's a reason why I think AI could arguably be 1 on there. But I'm gonna put Harden 1 because you can't argue with those numbers. You can't argue with Harden's numbers. I mean, and they both offensive players, so you can't bring defense into it with those 2 dudes. So offensively, Harden is up there with anybody in the history of the league. So put him number 1. Iverson 2. The last 2 is tough for me.
That's the tough part.
I went with Wade just because of the chips, and then I'm putting McGrady 4. That's a determining factor for me. So Harden and AI. First of all, people underestimate AI. I saw Vince Carter talking on one of the basketball shows yesterday. And he was talking about like dudes like it's just like they just get 40, 50 in their sleep. He's like, the first person he mentioned was AI. He's like, AI get 40, 50 points. It's just like, all right, another night. He's like, for me, like if I got 40, it's like a big deal. Like it's like a big deal. But the first person he mentioned was AI because he probably gave him nightmares. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, I think people underestimate the raw scoring ability of AI. Harden, he just scoring it in a way we ain't seen hardly nobody score. Even if you take now the arguable thing is Harden's getting to the line. He's playing in this era. They give him so many fouls. It's accounting for like 12 to 16 points every game for him. So it's like you stack that onto his scoring percentage. Well, maybe half of it because he would still get some fouls, but just not that many. But his scoring average is just like blown out of proportion by the way they call fouls for that dude. AI wasn't getting that. So you got to kind of consider that. Like, would AI be scoring that much if he was in this era? Maybe. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? I can see AI easily scoring in his mid-30s. But, Harden got the advantage of size, durability. You know what I mean? He's created so many. His three-point shot, he's shooting three-pointers up there with the best of them. He's scoring in the lane with the best of them. So I'm putting him number 1. And then, like I said, with Wade and McGrady, the determining factor for me is just the chips. I mean, I never thought Wade had, was up there with like how they try to put him up there as like with the best of the best. I never thought of him that way. McGrady had a short time when he was like that. It wasn't his prime. So like I said, just the chips is what's going to make me put Wade over him.
Damn, let him have it.
I agree. Harden, AI. I don't know. The McGrady thing, I'm gonna go ahead and say McGrady number 3 because Wade got a gay son. So I'm gonna go ahead and take McGrady.
You gotta take your heart out of it.
Oh, all right. Well then Wade. No, McGrady, when McGrady was McGrady, he was the truth.
Mm-hmm.
Like he was Wade. Taji, I don't think they hype Wade up. Wade is definitely when he was balling, Wade was one of my top players. But McGrady, what he can do, he was more of a dominant dude than Wade was. So I'm gonna go McGrady, then Wade.
You know what? Real quick, I don't. McGrady's dominant period was so short. I don't even.
Well, yeah.
I don't even remember it that well. I just know that he was. You know what I'm saying? I remember Vince Carter's dominant period more than him. You know what I mean?
Yeah, he was like taller than all the other shooting guards,
right.
Taller than the point guards.
Yeah.
But he can shoot. He was like how Ben should be.
Right.
Taller than everybody and doing what you want to do. Dunking on people, shooting threes, getting to the hole. You couldn't put a point guard on him because he was too fucking tall. You couldn't put a shooting guard on him because he's too small, too taller than him. Put a small forward on there. He faster than him. Like he was like a problem more than Wade was. Wade was the truth, but he was more of the truth also because of his teammates, though.
Yeah.
Cave.
All right. Yeah, it's gonna be AI number 1. Because anytime like you look at him, he's short as hell, now, and he got the records. You talk about like the league or in the history of the league, the highest playoff scoring average. And when you mention among like Jordan and Wilt Chamberlain and people like that, like everybody that you're mentioning against is people 6'6" and up. So to me, the fact that he was so short but still was able to do what he did, to me, I'm gonna say like that's number 1. Like Taji said, if he was like 6, he didn't even have to be 6'6". If he was just 6'4", if he was like D Wade type, he'd be like ridiculous. And even I remember Kobe saying something like that to that effect, like, "Yo, if this man was like a little taller, he'd be a problem, like even more of a problem." So to me, AI, and even though people talk about he's a volume shooter and whatnot, but like that's what he had to do. And the fact that you had this guy that was able to like, I don't think I ever really seen AI that tired, breathing hard. So like this man was like goddamn machine. Like he played like 48 minutes and just looked like he just started the game. So and the fact that he took like one of the worst teams ever to the finals. I think the only one that could compare was LeBron's first chip squad in Cleveland when he had like Bobby Gibson or Danielle Marshall and them guys like that were there. So the fact he took, like Eric Snow, actually McKee was all right. McKee was pretty good. Who else? George Lynch.
Tyrell
That like after Tyrell Hill, after they after 2-3 years after that championship season, like a lot of them guys wasn't even in the league. Yeah. So I'm gonna put AI 1. Number 2, I'm gonna have to put McGrady. I'm gonna put McGrady because although his dominant period was short, like he just couldn't be stopped. Like he had he was tall, he could dribble his ass off. And he was a threat from any place on the floor. So if it wasn't for injuries and the fact that he really didn't like wasn't on the squad or got like great coaching, I think he would have been up there. So I'm putting McGrady 2. 3, 3 is gonna have to be 3 is Harden because the fact that this guy is like pretty much almost unstoppable. Actually, no. I'm gonna have to switch that up. I'm gonna put D, and I'm gonna put Harden 4. And the reason I put
First of all, you need number one. You need a buzzer. You need a buzzer, especially for putting Harden 4. Just put the buzzer on.
A buzzer or a middle finger or something.
Because remember how he didn't do anything in the finals when he was OKC, and his averages in the playoffs is pretty much the same, if not a little lower than what he does in the regular season. So to me, the fact that like AI, D Wade, McGrady, all them, they kind of stepped up the game in the playoffs. Harden, not so much, but even with him, even if he had a little drop, it's still kind of thorough. Like you can't really complain because he's still an average like 25, 26 a game in the playoffs. So but yeah, I would have to put Harden 4 because I remember that first championship with OKC, and like KD was killing them, but Westbrook and Harden was horrible.
It was like 4. It was like 4. That was like his 3rd year or something like that. When have you seen somebody go from a 6-man to another team and then average 1,000,000 points? Name one player.
The way I'm looking at it, I'm just looking at it like I said, I talked a lot about like, what I see skill wise.
Yeah.
Now I understand his point. He made a good point about the playoffs. I mean, you got to count that stuff. They shrink at crunch time, that kind of stuff. But I'm just looking at like skill wise and the kind of stuff that Harden can do. I don't see those other dudes being. AI's height again, it counts against him, but he can't do nothing about that. He was 5'11".
The Harden thing, like you haven't seen any. You got to watch a Harden game and just watch his like the way they play defense against him. I'll be like, what are y'all doing? Why y'all scared? They be scared to get near him. They be scared to come up to him.
See, but that's partly how they call fouls for him too. But what it is, it's the same effect as Randy Moss. Like when I'm watching Harden play, I'm like, he gonna make this shot. He gonna make this shot. He gonna make. If you look at his percentage, it's not that high, but it's like it's a regular percentage. But it's like AI, same thing. It's like what are you gonna do now? You be dribbling around 3-point line, like, oh my God, get in his face. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, like if I was playing, if I look at it sometimes like, why are they playing? I can't wrap my mind around the way they play defense against Harden.
Like I said, I think part of that though is how they call for him. Like I think people don't know how to defend him because they're going, he do the, you see players that have their ways of getting fouls. Like Embiid do the wrap around thing. People get frustrated, but you fouling them. You know what I'm saying? Harden stuff is not even that obvious. Like the way they call fouls for him sometimes, like what am I supposed to do? And Giannis just bowls in the lane and you can't beat it. You just supposed to just move, just let him. You know what I'm saying? If you're there, you get called for a foul. Like okay, like what am I supposed to do?
Yeah, like it's just nuts. But go ahead, Keazy.
No, I was gonna say that's all. Y'all made up all good points, even though y'all think Cave crazy for putting him 4. I mean, he made a case. You know what I mean? I can't defeat that. He did make a case.
He made good points. He did make good points.
So, all right. So that's our show for this week, y'all. Thank y'all for tuning in to the best debate show that came out in 2021. We will continue this next week. For myself, the host, Keazy, Eric, Taji, Dane, and we'll have other people here next week. Hopefully they show up on time. And James, who is still listed as nothing, but
he's listed as nothing.
Appreciate y'all.
All right, yeah.
All right.